All right, YouTube. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. This is the Parlay Parlor. It is February 23rd, Monday. We have a very small NBA slate, only 3 games on the agenda. Some way, somehow, I've found a way to curtail 4 prompts that we're going to go through. With that being said, let's have a review of Saturday night. Didn't have a video yesterday. I think there's a very good reason for it. I had a ample amount of shame and disgust with what I honestly gave you guys the day before. But let's be honest. I mean, I hate to start off a video with just the very first the very first goose egg ever. I've always found a way to provide a win, even in the worst days that I've fleetingly done these videos. Granted, it's not about how many you win or how many you lose. It's about consistent profit. But again, rule of thumb, if you win more than you lose, profit does come into the forefront. Looking at it, I mean, I think I got greedy per se. Um, Definitely the wrong reads. Let's just start from the bottom up. Osher Thompson, blowout win for the Pistons against the Bulls. I mean, if I didn't say, I think I've said before, the only thing that stops Osher from getting this is a blowout or foul trouble. I think he had both. I think he had 4 fouls and it was a blowout. Victor Wembanyama, I mean, the 34.5 points and rebounds was right there for the taking. I mean, he exploded on the Kings. Made 1 3. I mean, 1 from 5 attempts. I think I did say I could live with the variance there and the volume. Unfortunately enough, I only meant that if we had won any other bet to that on Saturday. The 76ers, I mean, the spread outright. I mean, we could have taken them for the first half, but it doesn't really matter. I think I mean, I was going to just say the 76ers aren't safe to take with and beat out, but they blew the Timberwolves out of the water last night, but they had no Rudy Gobert and no Naz Reid, essentially no front court. But um, in hindsight, it was just stupid taking the Pelicans. Like I said, they're not tanking, they're just objectively bad. But at the same time, on a back-to-back at home, I mean, it was quick turnarounds, especially a depleted Sixers team. It was right there. I mean, Jordan Poole had 21 points, 16 and 13 or 16 in the fourth quarter. Just really, really, really unsettling to watch. And then Jalen Green, Jalen Green hits the buzzer beater in double OT. You know, you prefaced it with that, and you're thinking, wow, he clutched up, I guess. But unfortunately enough, that was his fifth made shot the whole entire game. The man played 39 minutes of professional basketball, chucked up 27 shots and only made 5 of them. Got to the free throw line a couple of times and lucked out on us with 5 assists, but 16 points from like 27 shot attempts it's abysmal. Um, Again, Dylan Brooks gets injured in the first quarter, so you're thinking, wow, this play fell right into our laps. This was just a Colin Gillespie game, unfortunately enough. Colin Gillespie had, I think, it wasn't a career night for him, but I think he had a double-double in points and assists. And unfortunately enough, I was gonna coulda, shoulda, woulda with Colin Gillespie assist was potentially there, but you know, in hindsight, is always 2020. You never see Dylan Brooks getting injured like that. And in which case, I mean, there's not much I can defend on 5 of 27 shooting. I can apologize. It was just wrong reads across the board. But with that said, it is a new day. We're gonna continue with this week. Let's at least go from Thursday to Thursday because in any case, that kind of just negates the fact that we had two-and-one nights back to back with the sweeps being avoided by 1 point to the Charlotte Hornets. I mean, I think we can. If I didn't have a fixation or a kink with the humiliation kink with the Charlotte Hornets, we're looking at a 6-0. Even though we went with a terrible Saturday, we're looking at 6-4, and things are a lot more peachy. But things are looking a lot more peachy. It is the start of a work week. We're going to continue with this week. We'll close it out on Thursday so we can get an idea of how much money we made or lost. With that said, the props that we're going to go for today are the Detroit Pistons money line. We're going to take Ty Jerome on his points. We're taking Precious Achua for his rebounds and Jabari Smith for his points. If you are akin to parlaying these, you can parlay them all on FanDuel. You're going to get roughly, I'm looking at the live odds right now, you're going to get a plus 857. What I would recommend for the water down would probably be you can keep the Pistons money line, or if anything, you might just want to give them like plus 4 or 5 points just to negate anything. But I'll go into detail with that. Jabari Smith, I think he's safe enough at 15-point threshold. Again, I'll go into further detail, but the matchup is great. Spread, Jazz, Precious Achua, and honestly, let's not get into a bad habit of railing off these straights and then we do a parlay just to force things of even more juiced odds under. I mean, play these all straight and then parlay them together and call it a day. Let's not overthink it. Let's start off. Pistons money line. This is shifting now to what I think potentially will end up being a plus money play, because I see there is a lot of money going on the Spurs side. Normally I hate to look at this, but we have to look at the last 2 times they played each other, which was last season. First things first. Wemby was ruled out before the All-Star break last year because of the blood clots. He didn't play in any of these matchups, so essentially just a throwaway year for the Spurs. Essentially, a development year for a lot of the players there. Entirely, so we can't really necessarily look at these two and say yes, the Pistons are going to win. But then Cobbs, why are you taking the Pistons money line? The notion here is that while Wemby is back and the Spurs are a night and day from last season, the offense facilitates completely through Wemby. I mean, in terms of the way that it orchestrates its offense and how it succeeds and thrives, you need typically a good Victor Wembanyama game in competitive matchups like this. I mean, both of these teams are on a tear right now. I think Detroit has won like eight of the last 10. Spurs have won 9 of the last 10. So again, this is this is going to be a good matchup. I mean, out of 3 games, this is going to be the game of the night, potentially game of the week. Best team in the East versus Spurs aren't the best team in the West, but they're one of the best teams in the West. But Detroit has the best record. Rule of thumb for me typically is I don't like to take teams that are coming off of a road spell, but there is some nuance on this when you look at this 4-game road trip. I mean, the All-Star break was split right in between it. I mean, and then after that, I mean, New York and Chicago, not really the most daunting road spell, and 2 days of rest in between both of those games, 2 days of rest in between this game. Relatively, Spurs are on the same schedule, and I mean, there's only been 2 games for both of them since, and they played on the same days. I'm not looking into the travel fatigue coming into the nuance of Detroit right now. And again, like I said, we're going to need a good Victor Wembanyama game in addition to a supporting cast of the rest of the Spurs coming into the forefront. Yes, both teams remarkably healthy. Only tangible out is Isaiah Stewart, so that does bring the front court depth into the Pistons into concern. There is a slight question mark here. If Jalen Duren gets into foul trouble, this can probably look nasty if he has to sit out for foreseeable stretches. And then you have a front court of, like, I guess, Tobias Harris and then Paul Reed against Wemby. But even then, for as long as Jalen Duren is a part of this equation of the game and a factor, as long as he can stay out of foul trouble, he is primarily going to have to be tasked with trying to settle and slow down Wemby. I'm not going to say he's going to succeed or fail that outright, but in any case, once those two are going through their duel, it comes down to the other supporting cast, and a 4 of Fox, Castle, Vassell, Champagny or Harrison Barnes you could put in against Cade, Duncan, Osher, and Tobias Harris. Um, yes, Isaiah Stewart is out, but Paul Reed can more than well fill in for him. You have Danis Jenkins coming in. I I just see that the Pistons have more in this. Granted, Isaiah Stewart, but he's not a needle mover in that regard. I mean, you're getting 18 minutes, and mostly of those would be in non-Wemby minutes, or if Durant gets into foul trouble. And if any case in form, if that happens, then this bet is looking dead in the water. But in any case in form, I mean, we're talking about the best team in the league outright. Again, there will be question marks coming down the stretch and see, okay, yes, this young Pistons team, they're gelling. It's kind of reminiscent a little bit of OKC last year. Um, or not last year, 2 years ago when the Celtics won the league. Um, how will they fare up at the end and when it comes to the business end of the season and the postseason and playoffs? But for right now, I have no reason to go against Detroit, especially at home. This is a statement game. I think for the Spurs to come in to Detroit and win, like I said, you're gonna need a big game from Wembanyama, and you will need a big game from one of the other four. This is a game where Wemby can go for a 30-point double double, but I can still see the Pistons winning this outright if we're seeing the likes of Castle, Vassell, and Fox being strapped down by Osher, Duncan, Cade, and then any types of matchup that we can get from that. Justin Champagne, yes, you have spot up threes coming from him. Not necessarily someone that you're gonna have much of a marker on that if he does have a hot night, but the context of that is if he has a hot night, you're going to need a hot night to beat a Detroit Pistons team at home. Very reminiscent of the bad boys of the early 2000s. Give me the Pistons money line. This was at minus 120, which is what I had that here when we look at the lines when I made the charts this morning. But it looks like I said, this is minus 106 now. Let's refresh the page. Let's see what they have for that. Still, still minus 118. Yeah, this is definitely going to go to plus money. Spurs, people love the Spurs on this for some reason. I mean, I don't blame them. It's not a bad line. It's not a bad line for the Spurs, but I see this closing at plus money. If it's closing at plus money for Detroit, hammer it. I have to see the Pistons get beaten outright for me to have to look away from them. This game was originally going to be an Osher Thompson 6 rebounds, to be quite honest with you. But then again, it's being a little bit imaginative here. It's toughest matchup yet. He tends to get he does tend to get these in tough to middling matchups. Um, Games he doesn't get it. Let's not look at Osher Thompson. I think let's after Saturday. It's gonna suck if he does cover this and he covers his fucking points and rebounds in flying colors. But at the same time, with that being said, if Osher Thompson has a good game, then more than likely the Pistons are winning. Okay, next prop on the card today. Oh no, Precious True. Has this gone up to 6.5? I want to get this at F6. Okay, so this line, it's at 5.5. It is heavily juiced at minus 143, minus 150 on FanDuel, where I'm going to put this in at. But at the same time, I can definitely see this line shifting up to 6.5. I'd much rather get it in early now. Primarily, this is just going to, again, 3 games on the agenda today. I really didn't want to bet on this game per se, but those are the games that you really need to look away from. Oh yeah, both teams are tanking. Both teams are astronomically banged up. There's going to be bad basketball played. There's going to be spots to find. And then when you look at it, Sacramento has no front court presence. I mean, Sabonis is out for the season. Dylan Cardwell, who you would assume would get maybe blowout minutes in the rotation, he's out now for this foreseeable future. DeAndre Hunter, who while maybe not a power forward, he would incorporate some of that front court presence with Keegan Murray and Precious. He's out for the season, so we're looking at a Kings team that's very light. I mean, I think they're probably suited up with not more than 10 players, 10 players tonight. I wanted to look at Max Renard, but his rebounds is at 10, which is 10.5, which I just can't take, personally speaking. At that point, I'd rather just take Precious Achua at the 6 rebounds. Um, yes, there's a lot of red into this, but we need to just look in the nuance that he's averaging what? He was averaging 20 points on the season. But we need to look in his last 5 games. He's gotten, well, particularly the last 2 games, now that the Kings have essentially decided to pack in house for this season. He's seen nothing south of 20 minutes. There is a big deviation here between the two, but this was a game that the Kings were surprisingly in were in for a lot longer. Um, but now there's a lot of people out. It's simple. If we just bump this up to just any bit of 18 plus minutes, it goes up to a 55% hit rate across the season. If we want to be greedy and biased and say he's gained any bit of 20, this goes up to a 62% hit rate across the season. Do you want to be greedier and say he's getting 22 minutes, 21, 64, 22? I mean, essentially, this is a tank-off game. There's only so many minutes to go around in that front court and so little players to give them to. Precious Achua, I wanted to do the points and rebounds. It was at 12.5, but it's soared up to 14.5 now, which I just don't like. 13.5, sorry. It was at 13.5 at one point, but now it's 14.5. Because you're basically banking on him getting put back from rebounds and then any contest at the free throw line, and I don't want to lose a bet on Precious Achua free throws. Just give him the 6 rebounds. Props madness. I mean, again, there's going to be a lot of red when you look at this, but it just comes down to, first you have to look at no Sabonis, and then we have to look at the expected minutes that he's going to get. We have to look at any bit of, like, we'll give him south of 18. He's hit this in 7 out of 10 games this season when he's seen any bit of 18 plus minutes without Sabonis. We can't really look at Carl because he's just a rookie. There's not really that much into it. Well, yes, never mind, with Dylan Cardwell and Sabonis. But again, Dylan Cardwell, he doesn't get that many minutes to begin with. This is a line that I simply see closing at 6.5. Might as well get, if it does go up to 6.5. At that point, if the points and rebounds is still at 14.5, you have to take the risk on that. But again, I just don't want Precious Achua shots. Again, a lot of putbacks. It depends on what happens. Let's see, where does he do the majority of his scoring from? Transition. Okay. But he's not shooting many feet. He doesn't shoot. Everything's from within the paint and at the rim. Rebounds. Go with the rebounds. Let's not overthink it today. I think overthinking is what got us burned on Saturday. I think the simple play is let's take the center, whose minutes will be simply propagated to securing rebounds that fall, and the French guy right now cannot get. With that being said, let's go over to our third prop, second to last prop. We're staying in the same game, and we're going with Ty Jerome. This is another one where live line movement has just gone up to 18.5 now. Still minus 130 on FanDuel. I can see FanDuel definitely shifting up to the DraftKings. If this goes to 19 points, at that point, you need to take the points and assist at 23. Oof, so that was 22.5. If you have FanDuel, I hope you do, because this is where I'm putting this bet in. Ty Jerome, I mean, again, he's back. I don't want to say a renaissance, because simply the Grizzlies don't really have much of a plan for this season besides just development and seeing where guys are. And of course, try to secure a good draft spot. First and foremost, I mean, I think he's only played, what, has he played 10 games? He's played 7 games now with the Grizzlies since coming back. He's covered this in 5 of those 7 games. The 2 games that he didn't get those in, I mean, you could say those were competitive matchups against the Trailblazers and the Heat. Hard minutes cap. You're not getting anything more than 20 minutes from Ty Jerome, but at the same time, you're not getting anything less than 20 minutes from Ty Jerome. So this just comes down well and truly to his efficiency, and do I think he can get us 18 points with the shots he's taken up? Um, with that being said, I mean, this is a volume play. He's going to get 20 minutes to shoot whatever he can, whatever he likes. Hopefully, as long as these aren't disgusting shots, Ty Jerome should be able to get us over this line. There's not really much I can help put into nuance about a 18-point line on a guy that's getting 18 minutes. I mean, it's very dicey to begin with. But at the same time, I mean, the Grizzlies are very banged up. Aldama is not going to play. KCP's out for the season. Cedric Howard is out. John Morant's out. Brandon Clark's out. So you're going to see, I mean, essentially Cam Spencer, Walter Clayton Jr., and Ty Jerome kind of rotate in that front court. I don't know if this minutes projection is perpetual for Ty Jerome. I mean, I would assume at some point, as long as he's staying healthy, like they might want to give him more of a run up. He's had his best game since he came back against the Kings. So again, there is a lot of recency bias into it, but the matchup is particularly there. Bottom 10 defense to the point guard position. We look at props madness where Ty Jerome likes to shoot at. I mean, very fluid shooter, creates a shot from anywhere on the court. And where we look at how the Kings like to defend point guards, I mean, very poor from them in general. Across the whole court, they're almost a bottom 10 in every metric besides directly under the rim and corner right-sided threes, but those are very niche spots that I'm not really going to expect or hopefully we're not banking on a Ty Jerome 3 from the corner to get us over the line. But in any case, I mean, we look at the usage that he's getting this season. If you look at it, he's getting 20 minutes. He's getting the responsibility to shoot up exactly what he wants, how he wants. I mean, when we look at the 2 games that he didn't get this in, he's still shooting 16 shots. 10 shots against the Trailblazers, but against Monty Kamara. I watched that game. It was a very, very daunting matchup. If we're getting 16 shot attempts, I hate to say this, but it's like Jalen Green. I can be at peace with him shitting the bed with us, just as long as I don't lose 3 more bets besides that. Ty Jerome, I mean, he just played against him, had his best game since he's come back. I have no reason not to take this. I mean, 20 minutes, it's hard to take. I understand. If you really don't want that and you want someone who is going to quote unquote get more time, I guess you can also take Gigi Jackson rebounds, but he's not starting, or maybe RotoWire is just tripping. I don't know why this Massachusetts guy would come into the forefront like that. But again, let's not overthink it. Ty Jerome, give him the points. Saw 22 minutes. What's going on with him? He's on a 2-way contract. Oh, he's been playing a lot of minutes recently. Good for him. In any case, Ty Jerome, give me his fucking points. 17.5 points. All right. Last prop for today, we're going with Jabari Smith Jr. We're taking him for 15 points. 14.5 point spread against the Utah Jazz. There is going to be a lot of caution. I will have to forewarn you into this, but again, I mean, it's a matchup. Bottom 10. I mean, I'm pretty sure Utah is a bottom 10 in every metric to every position. Yeah. But Jabari Smith, we're seeing that he's been given a lot more responsibility to shoot the ball. I mean, his minutes are very stable, even in perpetual blowouts. You're seeing him get nothing below 30. He's getting the opportunity to shoot the ball a lot more. I mean, he's averaging He's averaging 12 and a half shots on the season. He's averaging just about that recently. Very consistent, sustainable shooter. He's shooting at a very consistent clip. He's shooting at 55 on the season, but he's shooting 44 across the season, but 50 across the last couple of games. I'm perfectly fine with this. I mean, you have a Rockets team who just themselves came back from a 2-game road trip. A very devastating loss to the Knicks that they were up for large portions of it. I can definitely see that they're coming back. This again, which is why I don't want to take that 14-point spread. It's a little too steep. Oh, it's gone down now, so it looks like the public has woken up and gotten on Utah. The nuance again would be I don't like taking teams after a road trip. From Charlotte to New York back to Houston. Again, I don't want to be a jet logger or anything like that. It shouldn't have that much nuance into it. But this is a steep spread, even against a Utah team that at the end of the day bottoms out and they'll take the fine in the course of tanking for a better pick. At the same time, this is a steep line to take on a Rockets team that essentially, yes, they can win, but it's not as if they're going to win quite convincingly. Um, but this isn't about the spread. This is about Jabari Smith. We're seeing him get no matter what. He's going to get consistent minutes across the board, even if this is a blowout or not a blowout. And even better if it's a competitive game because we're going to see more minutes from him. Even if we play on the low front, if this is a potential blowout, he plays 28 to 32 minutes, still consistently hitting this. If we go anywhere up beyond that, he plays 30 and he plays 30, 33 plus, 31 plus. It's still 60%. I'm not even trying to hide you guys. It's still favors for him. We go over to props madness where he likes to do his scoring from. Again, new age front court player. I mean, credit to him. He's gonna have a long career. He can create his own shot from the three. He can catch and shoot. He does just have to figure out beefing up a little bit, or maybe that's just not his game. Let me respect that. The kid likes to shoot the ball. And when you have Alperen Sengun, you don't really have much of a need for him to take that front court presence. But from everywhere else, the guy likes to shoot. Well, actually, I had the splits wrong. Utah is a top 10 defense, so below the rim. But again, I think Walker Kessler, there's a lot of nuance to it. Kyle Filipowski coming in and potential blowout. I'm not too concerned about that, but this is going to be a lot of catch and shoot threes. I mean, when you're playing with Alperen Sengun and Kevin Durant, I think you're going to get a lot of opportunities to impose yourself. Jabari Smith Jr., 15 points. If you're still watching this, I do appreciate you taking time out of your day to listen to me ramble about props. We're going on about 28 minutes now, 8 a.m. So I guess this is a good time to close it off. Have a blessed day. Please gamble responsibly. Gamble what you're willing to lose. Gamble what you can afford to lose. And may the odds be ever in our favor. Peace out.